We are live.
Hi, good evening, everyone. And it's my very humble pleasure to have Dr. Sharzil Sheikh with us, who secured rank of 46 in this recently conducted NEET PG exam. So, Dr. Sharzil, many congratulations, first of all.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Sharzil, my first question to you would be that were you expecting this rank, or was it like it came as a surprise to you?
So I was scoring nice consistently. I was expecting a good rank in a 3-digit rank maybe, but in climbing up into the 50s was something unexpected.
Oh, that's amazing. So I'm sure the news must have spread by now like a fire in relatives, friends, and everywhere.
Yeah.
Everyone must be happy and ecstatic to know it. This, right?
It's very exciting.
Okay, wonderful. Well, Dr. Sharzil, just tell a little about yourself. Where are you from? Where you did your MBBS from? Just we need to know that about your background.
Sir, I belong to Aurangabad, and I have completed my MBBS from SGS Medical College in KM Hospital, Mumbai.
Okay. So, Dr. Sharzil, was it your first attempt to NEET?
Yeah, sir. This was my first attempt.
Oh, first attempt and double-digit rank. Well, this is something to be remembered forever. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I believe you were our foundation or pre-foundation student in DBMCI, right?
Yeah, I was a pre-foundation student.
Pre-foundation. That means you started your journey from second year.
Yeah, I started.
Okay. So, Dr. Sharzil, thoda batao yaar, ki how actually went about it. Like starting from your second year days, I want you to think about कि आप second year students से बात कर रहे हैं and you're kind of guiding them कि if you're a second year student, what goes into your head when you go into the coachings and how to utilize that time if you're a pre-foundation student.
So for a second year student, every disease is new. So as a second year student, I was more keen into knowing new things because when you get accustomed to new terms, new terminologies, it becomes very easier for in the coming years to remember the new knowledge we are going to gain over it. In second year, I still remember I used to read something and go for Obs Gynae and the lectures which used to be conducted by DBMCI. I don't know. I don't remember if I made notes or not, but the lectures used to be exciting. And even during, I still remember Ramya ma'am. She gave me 2 Cadbury's because I answered, and I was still a second year student. Yeah, so it was fun. It was more of an exploring new diseases, exploring new stuff. But from third year on, I was not into exploring. I was more into consolidating whatever I have learned and perfecting it because NEET PG is all about knowing things perfectly. They need exact perfect answer to every question.
Okay. So basically, when you were a second year student and you went for all these clinical classes, it kind of instigated feeling of being a doctor, how it feels like. So that probably excited you and motivated you to do better. Okay. Tell us about your final year, because second and third year you dedicated to like consolidating your notes and all that. How you manage your final year?
Final year is somehow overwhelming in the start, sir. It's like you have to manage your NEET preparation. You have to study for universities. You have to study for practicals also. So it's kind of overwhelming. So the one thing I did was I studied for the university from the notes itself.
Okay.
So like not many, writing, answering theory and preparing for NEET are 2 different things. So I made my answers in such a way that after even reading the notes, I could answer it in the exam. So every time I read for my theory, I was actually revising the notes for my NEET.
Okay.
So and side by side, I used to read practical, whatever good source of practical, I used to take out some time and read for practical. So even practical wasn't overwhelming. So I was able to perfect my final year subjects in the final year only by using this strategy.
Okay. Dr. Sharzil, tell me one more thing. Now, the next is around the corner, and people are kind of skeptical about, I'm sure your juniors will keep asking you this question that, sir, how to go about the next, because you're not only your degree, but your PG, seat depends on that exam. And there is a kind of thing which is going on nowadays, which I always say I find it a little laughable only, that people say that abhi to clinical subject puchenge, so you don't have to read and pre and paraclinical things. So
this is the most wrong notion anyone can have, sir.
Exactly.
Even this year, so many questions were from just first year.
Yeah.
So anything, it goes down to the basics, sir. Even if it's a surgery question, it goes down to anatomy. Even it's ortho, even if it's medicine, it goes down to first year and second year subject. So this is not something to be ignored, sir.
And
So
even if you're superhuman, you can mug up, information, too many information, it becomes too overwhelming,
yes,
remembering
yes, sir.
stuff without having a concept will obviously
Yeah, yeah.
overburden you.
And
Yeah,
so, if we are good with first year and second year subjects, final year subjects seems very easy, sir.
very easy. Yes. Dr. Sharzil, I wanted to tell us about when did you start giving your GTs? Because before this interview, you told me
So,
that you were particular about GTs actually.
I was more of a question bank and GT person.
Okay.
I started right from the end of my final year. I started giving GTs. For me, it didn't matter if I had completed the syllabus or not. I had my target was to get accustomed to giving, sitting for long, practicing more questions, and like feeling the atmosphere of the exam. So that was my target. So in the final NEET exam, it was so effortless for me because I had given GTs and it actually helped me, and the mind wasn't cluttered because I had practiced GTs.
Okay.
So
So
I would
what
advise.
exactly? Well, I mean, especially I want to ask that intern and post-intern student, what should be the frequency of grant tests that they should give?
So I'm quite an over enthusiast if it's about grant tests. So people give different advices, but my
Yeah.
advice is give grant tests at least 15, one per 15 days.
Okay.
Uh,
So was you also the ones in the 15 days, or were you like every week you were giving GTs?
I used to like I just wanted a reason to give GTs. Like I used to give GTs in like sometimes even 2, 3 a week, sometimes in 10 days. There was a point when I was short of GTs.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So if I have to ask you this, have you any number in your head that how many GTs you might have given before your exam?
Um, might be 50, 60 plus.
Oh, wow. Um, well, 50, 60 GTs itself. And how, like giving GT is one thing, but how you used to review your GT? Like, let's say if you score good or bad, then how do you analyze the GT? आज एक GT दिया है, पर उसको फिर analyze कैसे करना है कि how will I progress from this point onwards? What do you used to do?
So for me, GT was not something for analyzing.
Okay.
For me, GTs were more of learning. I
Okay.
used GT for purpose of learning. So for me, those were not just 200 questions; those were 800 concepts.
Okay.
So I used it for my learning purpose. And there was a point in time so when I was scoring consistently 600 in GTs, and I was quite sure that I'll get some branch, and I was in my comfort zone. But suddenly I had a dip, and my percentile dropped to 94. And I woke up and I accelerated myself again. I dusted the negativity, and I started reaching 650 and 660.
So basically, you kind of stuck to a goal, and you gave so many GTs that there might be so many questions which in the exam they must have sounded or like looked a little familiar to you. आपने GTs ही इतने दिए हुए, you've given so many tests that that definitely must have saved some time for you as well. I hope that you would be able to complete your tests in time as well, like compared to other people.
Yeah. I got nearly 35 minutes to review my questions and um, rethink about the answers I need to change.
Well, this is something which I want our audience to understand. See, when the people on one hand are saying that they found the exam was lengthy, imagine Dr. Sharzil is saying that he was having more than 30 minutes to review the questions, and it all came from practicing GTs. He gave the grand test. He was in the simulation exam environment, and he like imagine 3.5 hours was never less for those 200 questions. It's just that you need to practice it wisely here.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
Dr. Shajil, do you also believe in that concept of 20th notebook? Do you also, because you attended classes for a long time, and do you also have a separate notebook or something that you revised at the end?
Many people do it, but sir, I am more of unorthodox.
That's
So I I never made notes. So this is very different kind of notion. So
okay.
for me, the question bank was notes itself.
Okay. So, but you must be sticking to some particular, platform or particular like set of questions or book somewhere that you can even revise your questions from.
Yes, sir. Sir, can you repeat the question?
I said ki like you must be like very particular about the questions. Like let's say if you read a set of questions of head and neck from some source, so you must have revised those questions also, because as you said, your questions were the source of notes only.
Yeah. So the questions I used to divide it in new knowledge, the knowledge I'm perfect in. And so the questions which were new and which were very out of like very unlikely that these questions will be asked. So like 2 to 3% of these questions I used to just leave like on luck. The
Okay.
rest of the questions which were important and I was consistently making it wrong, basic questions which I was making wrong, I have to bookmark them. I have to bookmark them and I have to revise them. And
Okay.
my focus for the last 2 months was I'll try to revise all the questions I have solved.
Okay. Okay.
So,
So
the question
basically
and the
all these
explanation.
okay. So basically all the classes that you attended, they kind of gave you, that what are the areas to focus on, so that you can
Yeah,
bookmark the questions
absolutely.
and you can align your preparation.
Yeah.
Well, that's a kind of, you rightly said, it's a little unorthodox way, but it's quite impressive. When you get a rank like 46, then obviously it pretty looks like that it worked for you. Dr.
It was
Sajil, what are the, I hope you attended all the live classes in DBMCA. Did you attend all the classes?
it was pretty unfortunate that Corona came and there was a break to the live classes. I remember I attended Tamim sir's classes, for like 2020 or 29. I don't remember the exact date. And after that, I wasn't able, but I still continued with online sessions. And definitely, sir, I adore your teaching. I'm a huge fan of yours. The way you teach neuroanatomy and head neck face, it's like um, this was something I used to find it terrible. If I would ever leave something out of all these subjects, the topic I would leave was head neck face and neuroanatomy. But you made it sure that I would not leave it.
Thank you, man. And any other classes that you liked in our face to face or maybe the online classes? Any other faculty you would like
I'm
to?
a huge fan of Tamim sir. So I have an instance with Tamim sir too. I was in the lift.
Okay.
And I used to adore him a lot. And he was also in the lift. And somehow I panicked and I didn't wish him. And he just pointed out, he said in a humorous way, people from your college wish me. They are, yeah. I said sorry, sir. Something. That was a cute moment with him. Yeah, I love his teaching. The way he has taught CVS is like supernatural. He makes things very easy. Even Rajat sir's radiology is very fun to learn.
These are all legends. Well, Dr. Tamim is known for, he basically brings the entire MBBS in front of your eyes when he's there. He'll make you recall your physiology and pharmac and path and everything. And that's why he's such a great teacher. He's a teacher of teachers, basically. We all were students of Dr. Tamim at one time, imagine. So he's a very, very experienced person. Dr. Sajil, at this point of time when you've already cleared the exam, I'm sure you're in a very good space right now. So I think it's you'll be happy to do that, and I also believe it's your humble responsibility also to guide your juniors, especially for the INICT exam. Many of your colleagues who probably were not able to get the rank this time here. So what would you say that in this coming INICT exam, aap ye maan ke chalo ki I'm your junior, and I have like only this couple of months in my hand. So what is a realistic approach to this INICT? What should I do so that I can crack it?
I would advise to just test the water before entering it. So I would say make a list of all the important topics that come, because few topics like I have seen questions from genetics, they usually come a lot. So the newer advances, important newer advances, questions are more on that. And I would advise first make a list of these topics, you complete these topics, and then go on to solving previous year questions. Whatever questions are available, you can solve it. So this would be my advice. And the advice for the exam is read if it's written, if it is correct or incorrect, true or false, if there's an except in it. Because these questions for NICT, they are known for making odd questions and adding some trick in the question. So reading question is half the work done. That's what I'll advise.
Yeah, last NICT, that was the thing about the last NICT exam, because if you look at those questions, they were pretty simple. But when you look at the options, the option made them like sound a little difficult here. A is correct, A and C is correct, all are correct. So that is something that you need to know a little more detail about. So what Dr. Sharzil is suggesting everyone, it's absolutely true that know your previous year topics, and you should work around them, because they will be asking these questions, and they are called as Institute of National Importance for a reason, because they know how to frame their questions. So at times the question might look very simple, but there's a little catch in it, and that will completely change the answer. Well, Dr. Sharzil, lastly, I would like to use this platform to thank anyone you like, your parents, your family, friends, whoever helped you in this journey. These videos will stay on the YouTube forever, so I want कि आप कभी the future में देखो तो you will see, okay, yeah, I've thanked the people who.
I would like to, sir, I would like to thank my parents. I would like to thank all the faculties who were directly or indirectly involved in my learning. I would like to thank my friends like Dr. Shirin, Dr. Shehzad, Dr. Sushant. They have been a part of my journey. They have seen my ups and downs, and definitely they are something I need to thank. And there are many more names which I might have forgotten before, because at this point of time. But yeah, everyone who was involved in this journey with me, I really want to thank them, because it was impossible without if they would have not been there. Yes, sir.
Well, Dr. Sharzil, it was pleasure talking to you. And we as a DBMCI family wish you more and more success in life. And we wish to see you signing in. So till that, we'll sign off now. Thank you so much for your time, and God bless you.
Thank you.